Jada Pinkett Smith, The Smirk. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. I regularly use famous and infamous people for the purposes of helping you understand what's really driving their behaviour, and to enable you then to understand more about narcissism. Narcissism is far more prevalent than people realise. Part of that is because there are more narcissists than ever before. We're roughly, anecdotally, 1 in 6 of the population, so we're still a minority, but a sizable one. You'll go through your life at some point being involved with a narcissist. Many people, of course, have repeated run-ins with narcissists, relationships of a romantic nature with one or more, a narcissist in the family, perhaps a narcissist at work, a friend that's a narcissist. Other people, their interaction is far limited, and they will have interactions with narcissists but not realise that they have done so. Typically, perhaps passing them off as a Karen. And if you'd like to understand more about the Karen, listen to my video of that name. I examine various facets, aspects, and dynamics of narcissism as it helps you understand more about the world around you. Not everything, of course, is attributable to the behaviour of a narcissist, but it also enables you to understand more about people's behaviour where it's driven by the presence of emotional empathy rather than the absence of it and that need for control. One aspect that I'm focusing on here is that of the smirk. What is a smirk? Well, the Cambridge Dictionary defines it as a smile that expresses satisfaction or pleasure about having done something, knowing something that is not known by someone else. Commonly, when it comes to the narcissist, many people realise that the narcissist does give this smug, self-satisfied smirk from time to time. Not all narcissists do so, but many will. And Jada Pinkett Smith is no exception. She, on a regular basis, smirks. That sort of half smile, that smug, self-satisfied look. What's actually going on? Well, I will tell you shortly, and as you're listening, you'll be able to see that a variety of smirks exhibited by Jada Pinkett Smith are making their way across your screen. You can see again the lack of emotion, the lack of warmth in the eyes, but that slight twisting of the mouth to denote the presence of the smirk. Now, is it because she knows something that the other person does not? When it comes to narcissism, many people think that the presence of the smirk on the narcissist means the narcissist knows exactly what they're doing, and the smirk signals that. Actually, it's a different situation altogether, and it's important for people to realise that, because it's important for people to understand that the majority of narcissists are actually unaware. They are unaware that they're seeking power through control, fuel, character traits, and residual benefits. They know, for instance, that they've just hit you, and they know that hurts you, but a mid-range narcissist will see that as justified. You brought it on yourself, it's always your fault. But the actual breakdown, the granular reason for that behaviour, the unaware narcissist does not know. The aware narcissist, of course, does know that they are seeking control, fuel, character traits, or residual benefits. They might give it a different title than that which I have done so, but they know precisely why they're doing, what the reward is, what is being sought. In order to help you understand more about Jada Pinkett Smith and the smirk that she exhibits, I'm now going to take you to my video, The Narcissist Smirk, to go into greater detail. The advantage of this is that, utilising an example of Jada Pinkett Smith, you get to understand precisely why she smirks, but also unlocks other aspects of narcissism, so that you go, I didn't realise that was what was going on. This has enlightened me. So now we're going to go to the video, The Narcissist Smirk, which will help you understand more about why Jada Pinkett Smith smirks. Recipient of the smirk from the narcissist. Your narcissistic trait of pride becomes hijacked by emotional thinking. Who does he think he is? Smirking at me. Or your empathic trait of truth seeker again is confronted, what's he smirking for? Does he think that I don't know what he's up to? Well, I need to tell him that I do know what he's up to. And of course, when you are the recipient of that smirk, it provokes you into acting so that you continue to interact with the narcissist. You will continue to give us fuel. Give us fuel, which is what we want. We're winning. You become more frustrated because we stand there. That smirk continued to be plastered over our face, provoking you all the more. And so you suffer an adverse consequence. You're losing. We're winning. And you're continuing to interact with us. So you're feeding your addiction and you're keeping your emotional thinking high. You lose, therefore we win. So all that the smirk does is act to provoke you into believing, and this is the important part, believing that we know what we are doing. And therefore, how dare we treat you in this way? That it is unfair, indecent. And so your emotional thinking hijacks the narcissistic trait of pride, the empathic trait of justice, of truth seeker, of decency, to compel you to get behind the smirk, to point out, stop smirking. You can smirk at me all you like, but I know what you are, matey boy. And so that smirk is a provocative act which you, misled by your emotional thinking, are caused to believe is an indicator that the narcissist knows precisely what he or she is doing, so that you are then provoked into continuing to interact with them. You are being misled. You are being misled because, one, you are not aware of the real reason this smirk is occurring. Two, you are being misled by your emotional thinking, as I have just explained. Why then is the narcissist smirking? Remember, the narcissist, where lesser or mid-range, does not know what he or she is. They act through instinct, and whilst I know a number of you find this difficult to understand, the narcissist does not stand there thinking, I'm a narcissist and I'm purposefully doing this to assert control over this individual. No. They are not allowed to think that. It's too slow. Their narcissism causes them to believe that it is for some other reason. They may well smirk because they are reacting to your behavior. And their narcissism basically says, look at this little empath victim here. Let's continue to assert control over them, prime aim. Let's continue to draw fuel from them, prime aim, by issuing a provocation. We'll make the narcissist smirk. And the reason he can smirk is because he's being fueled. The narcissist's smirk originates as a consequence of all the fuel that you are providing. You are making the narcissist feel powerful, and therefore, the offensive smugness by which a smirk is recognized manifests as that ascent towards, but the unobtainable, contentedness of the narcissist. You fuel the narcissist, you are signaling that you are giving control to the narcissist, and you are fueling the narcissist. The narcissism then says, thank you very much, we are feeling more powerful, and therefore the smirk manifests as a consequence of the fuel that you are providing, in the same way that a narcissist might smile and say that they feel happy. They don't. It's the manifestation of the fuel that makes them feel powerful, but they, as an unaware narcissist, smile because that fits in with your world. And they will say, I feel happy, joyous, ecstatic, because the narcissism occasions them to say that so that they fit in with your world. But the smile isn't there because there is actual happiness. The smile is a byproduct of the fuel. Similarly, the smirk is a byproduct of the fuel that you are providing, and also the continuing need to assert control over you. The smirk is provocative, and therefore the narcissism causes the narcissist to smirk, to keep asserting control over you by way of provoking you. Remember, the lesser and the mid-range narcissists don't know what they are. They don't know that they seek the prime aims. And therefore, they are not smirking because they think, I know exactly what I'm doing here. I know that I'm precisely gaining control and getting fuel from this individual. This is hilarious. No. They're smirking because their narcissism says, you're far cleverer than this idiot. And that's what the narcissist actually thinks. But the real reason, the genuine reason for the smirk, is because it is a form of provocation. It's another manipulation. In the same way that the narcissist gives you a word salad, he doesn't think to himself, I know, I will give the victim a word salad in order to provoke them and deflect criticism so I can assert control over them and nullify the threat that they have created towards my control. No. He thinks, I'm just giving an explanation. If you can't understand it, you're stupid. That's not a word salad. Why are you saying this is a word salad? What I've just said makes perfect sense. Because from his perspective, it does. Because the narcissism allows him to believe that it makes perfect sense. It does not tell him that he's issuing a manipulation. It does not tell him that he is issuing a word salad. And in the same way, the smirk is purely, when it comes to a lesser or mid-range narcissist, an unconscious provocation which is predicated on a different reason in the conscious mind of the narcissist to that which it actually is. The narcissist thinks, this person's an idiot, or I'm superior to them. The smugness manifests. What they don't think is, I know I'm telling a lie, isn't it great to get away with it? No. Because the lesser and mid-range narcissists, for reasons I have explained elsewhere, don't know what they are, don't know that they're governed by their narcissism, and it has to be an instinctive, instantaneous response. And their narcissism allows them to believe that it is for an alternative reason, that they're very clever, for instance, that they are superior to this person. But it doesn't allow them to understand the real reason why it's being done. So for most of you, when you encounter the smirk, this isn't a narcissist thinking, I know precisely what I'm doing and this is working really well. Blah, I'm controlling them. No. Where that does occur is with the greater or the ultra. And of course, those classifications of narcissists are very rare indeed. It is highly unlikely that you'll come across them. We don't actually smirk that often. It will only be done occasionally. And that is where we know full well what we're doing and we wish to convey it to you. And we can do that, of course, because of the awareness that we have. But we actually do it very rarely indeed. Why? Because it comes too close to a transference of power, and therefore it's unnecessary for us to do it. Our narcissism operates in a different way, with different manipulations, so that the smirk is not a prevalent one that is utilised, because it is better for us to provide us with a polished facade. So you don't often see greaters or the ultra smirking at all. Where you do see smirking occur is with lesser and mid-range narcissists, and the smirk is an unconscious manipulation that they are utilising. If you fail to understand why this is, that's natural. It's a combination of not being fully immersed in understanding narcissism and the presence of emotional thinking. And you need to revisit the videos which talk about why lesser and mid-range narcissists don't know what they are and why they do not act in a conscious way. And I've explained in detail why that is, because of the necessity of achieving the prime aims instantaneously, chief of which is control, which has to be obtained in the now, in the instant. There can't be delay while they think about what's going on, because then control is lost, and therefore that becomes problematic. The narcissist then starts to cease to exist. If you maintain that a lesser or mid-range narcissist knows precisely what they are doing, you're wrong, and you really need to divest yourself of that view in order to help yourselves. But the smirk is a form of manipulation. It is done to provoke. It is done to cause you to believe that we are aware of what the narcissist is doing in order to get you to respond so that you continue to interact with the narcissist, to continue to give control, to continue to provide fuel, and from the position of your emotional thinking, you are misled into doing that so that you continue to feed your own addiction and top up your emotional thinking. Where you experience the smirk with the lesser or mid-range narcissist, They don't know what they're doing. It is an unconscious manipulation which has been specifically designed by the narcissism for the continuance of the receipt of fuel and the assertion of control over you. And a misunderstanding about the nature of narcissism, allied with the presence of emotional thinking, causes you to honestly but mistakenly believe that the narcissist does know what they're doing, and that's why they're smirking. They are not. It's important for you to understand that. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.